folks, Steve here, and as much as I don't want to do this, I feel like if I don't, it's going to be on my mind constantly. Now, as I mentioned before, I love this. I love games done by Filsinger, and sadly, there are those few cards that are have potential, but or aren't not meant for be the big guys in your Fed. But in my case, there are those few that are utter disappointments, and either with below average artwork or poor game stats that are below my expectations. Thankfully, there are only four of them that I can really talk about in detail. Start off, QT Marshall from Future of Honor. Now, the artwork alone turned me off, and I only kept him for about a year worth of game time. Look at his manager, R.D. Evans. That is an absolute eyesore. It was just a pain to look at this card every time I had to run him in a match. So that's the main reason I don't like this one. Game stats are okay. Nothing more can be said. On the other hand, Archibald Peck from the original Chikara set, I never used in the first place. Now, you're wondering why he looks like this? The artwork's okay, but this is based on a promo he did in which he was planning to say something that was intended to be profane, but he was telling his valet Veronica here to cover her ears so she wouldn't hear it. But it ends up being not so profane, and he comes off as being clueless, I suppose. Stats are okay, except for level 3 offense, in which he has a disqualification finisher on 4, and then 2 slots dedicated to the same finisher that have a 1 in 3 chance of hitting, and that's the downfall, because it would have been much better if he had another finisher, a completely different finisher on 5 with a 0 rating. At least he has some to work around. But unfortunately, that's not the case, and that's why I don't use that. I instead use his updated persona as the mysterious and handsome stranger in Chikarmi #1. Now, the more disappointing ones are actually women. First off, Veda Scott from Shimmer #1. The main thing that she has going against her is that she only has 2 3s on level 2, which is very unusual since most cards have 2 3s on 2 in the 5 and 6 slots. With Beta, she has instead on 5, she has a 2 choice F, which means because of her, that would mean in order to get an advantage, she'd have to use the option to do the move that has a strength of 3 on the situations chart. But sadly, that would mean to have an advantage, she'd have to focus more. It would work mostly with opponents that have a power of 0 or worse. So, and she's got 2 power moves and 1 agility. So, if she really wants to have an advantage, she'd have a better advantage against people that have an agility of a +2 and power of 0. Now, this last one had so much potential just by the artwork, but the statistics just failed. Laura Phoenix from Dark Menace Forces. Now look at that artwork. That looks freaking awesome. The way she's glancing off to the side, or with the hood drawn, and her the way her hand is like that. Excuse me. But then you look on the back, and after running a couple of matches, I was very disappointed. Yeah, like Veda, she only got 1-3 on level 2, but it's a little better because it's a little more forgivable because it has into the turnbuckle, into the ropes on 4 and 5. But then again, the thing that goes against it is that she, especially if you roll the result that's second from the bottom, and that would mean you'd have better advantages against an opponent who has a rope rating of C and B, since that would have, yeah, you have to compare ratings, similar chart ratings, and whoever would have the advantage on that result would get the level 3 offense. On the other hand, on level 1, she has 2 agility moves and 1 power move, which means, and a 2-choice F, which means she'd have more advantages. She'd be at a disadvantage against someone with an agility of +1 or better, and power of -2 or better, because of her respective agility and power being +2 and -1. And I'd have to say the worst part about her is the fact she's got so many down instructions on her defense. Her defense is just terrible. Now, most guys have a maximum of about 3 down instructions split between levels 2 and 3. Usually, from what I've seen as of late, most guys have a majority of Ring of Honor wrestlers have a single down instruction on level 2, and then maybe 1 or 2 downs on level 3. So you have something to work around. Here, Laura has 1 down on level 2 and 3 on level 3. So that works against her, and no matter how hard I've tried to get her to win, the die rolls just betray her, and it's just disappointing to me. I would love to get her to win a title, but sadly, it's not going to happen. Maybe I'll transfer her over to Chikara, and maybe she'll do better. In any case, I'm just glad to get that off my chest. I don't know what I'm going to do next time. I might take a little break as I finish up Ring of Honor, Season 4 of Ring of Honor. Maybe I'll review something different. Well, till next time, see you guys.